Hey guys, brand new podcast. I can't believe I actually have something to promote. The Hot Summer Nights comedy tour, indoor, outdoor comedy tour, mostly outdoor. The drive-in movie theater starts June 24th. June 24th, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina, then Indianapolis, then Tulsa, then Fort Collins. Fort Collins and Indianapolis, we've added both shows. We've added 2 shows to both those nights, and those are practically sold out. Every show is practically sold out. So if you're just hearing this now, run quick, get tickets. I think you buy per car. I think they allow 4 people in per car. I don't know exactly how it works, to be honest with you. It's going to be a fucking blast. It's going to be a real blast. I'm so excited. That's it. We got merch at Bert.com. 2 Bears, 1 Cave is out. I did a 2 Bears, 1 Cave today with Tommy that's coming out next week. And that's a good one. New one with Bill Bert. The Bill Bert is with Bob Saget. It's a very funny one. Those are all out. Yeah, we got a Something's Burning Uncut coming later. Why fucking waste your time? Let's get with the podcast. Ooh, sponsors. Today's podcast is brought to you by Whoop. Whoop is a wearable fitness tracker that I love. I absolutely love this thing. One of the things they don't tell you in the copy is what I love about it is that the charger is removable from the stand and you can put it on so this never leaves your wrist. This has not left my wrist all quarantine, and I love it. It tracks your sleep. It tracks your workout. And with mental health being on such a sketchy situation with what's going on in the world right now, it couldn't be more important to monitor the stress being put on our bodies and how we're recovering on a day-to-day basis. What's great with Whoop is that every day you get up, you get a recovery score based on your HRV, your resting heart rate, and sleep performance that can be used as an indicator on how you should approach your day. It's next level. And then what they also have, which I absolutely love, is a strain coach. It tells you exactly what your strain should be for the day. So that way you don't have a gym. You can get the optimal workout level intensity that your body is signaling that it can handle. So if you're stuck training at home, this is literally the perfect feature to use. And based on how strenuous your day is, the app then has a sleep coach. It lets you know how much sleep you should be getting to wake up and recover based on your performance goals, which you can set. For my listeners, Whoop is offering 15% off with the code BERT at checkout. Go to Whoop. WHOOP.com. Enter the code BERT at checkout to save 15% off. Sleep better, recover faster, train smarter, optimize your performance with Whoop. This is a great podcast. So this was done a little while ago, probably at the very beginning, and we are backlogged with podcasts. We were hoping to release so many a day, and I think we just mismanaged it. And now we have tons that we have to release. And we're going to just be releasing them slow rolling. And then I think we're done with Zoom podcasts. Once we get through this, we should be in the new podcast studio and be getting new podcast guests in the new studio. I'm really excited for the new studio. This happened right when COVID started breaking out. We talk about a couple, a guy named Nick Cordero in here and Amanda Clute, I think is her name. I apologize if I'm off. I follow Amanda. Nick was a Broadway dancer, is a Broadway dancer. And he moved out to LA and he got COVID and he got stuck into the hospital and he's had amazing struggles with this disease. And his wife is fucking amazing. I mean, this woman, everyone should hope and pray that they have just an ounce of the resiliency this woman has. They just had a baby and he's in the hospital. They're saying, I follow him on Instagram. I'm going to try to get you her Instagram so that you can follow it too. It's Amanda Clute Fitness is one of them. And then Amanda Clute is hers. AMANDAKLOOT. That she S KLOTS LOOTS. She's not on the podcast, but Jessica's good friends with her and going through what she was going through. And I randomly discovered them before I talked to Jessica about it. This is a really amazing story of resiliency, and our prayers are with you, Amanda and Nick. If you're watching this, our prayers are with you. But this fucking disease sucks, and this is mostly what Jessica and I talk about is how this disease sucks and how we're not feeling creative. And we talk about Jessica doing drugs and just going to rehab. And I mean, it's a really great podcast. Jessica is an OG in stand-up. And I say OG in that, like, she's from my generation. Those guys that started. She's so fucking funny. She has a special out. Do you know the name of her special, Halston? She has specials out that All Things Comedy we produced and released, and it murdered. She is so fucking funny. We talk about her stepbrother. Her stepbrother is Zach Braff. I think I said that right. Braff.
Braff.
Zach Braff.
Her special is called Talking to Myself.
Her special is called Talking to Myself. I had her on Something's Burning with Gary Goldman, I think. No, not with Gary Goldman. It was me, her, and Mark Normand. I absolutely love her. She is fucking phenomenal. She is hilarious. Go follow her. She does these. We talk about Zoom. I don't think I had done any Zooms yet. We talk about Zoom. She does these Zoom podcasts where she jumps into other people's Zooms. Like family reunions will have her come into the Zoom and she comes in as a character and doesn't tell anyone, and everyone thinks it's fucking hilarious. I love her. I hope you love her as much as I do. Enjoy the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Kirson.
He's the man, the myth, the legend, the fucking machine.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. Where are you at?
I'm on Long Island in my house.
Nice.
And a crazy time.
Yeah, how's it been for you? Like, I feel like everyone in New York can almost have the right to write a book about what's going on there.
Are we recording now?
Yeah. We're recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes, it's been pretty tough, to be honest.
Really?
Like I know we want to be funny a lot, but I know a lot of people who've gotten the virus, and most people are fine. But I do have 2 friends that are like really not okay. It's
Really?
crazy. Yeah.
It's
One's
so funny.
in LA and one's in New York.
We'll say that again.
One's in LA and one's in New York.
How old?
The one in LA is 41.
Oof, that's my age.
Not okay. Yeah. You may have read about him. He's a Broadway star. He's a dancer.
Is he the guy losing his leg?
Yeah, he lost his leg.
What
so that's a very close friend of my family. That's Zach's, my stepbrother's best friend. So Amanda, his wife, and their baby are living on Zach's property. And he's not okay. Like, I don't know. He just won't wake up. And he's getting the ventilator taken off today, but then he's being put on a trach. He lost his leg and he's a dancer. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So, and that's all, that's what's so scary about this is that I had a friend, the guy I worked with, get pneumonia, and they just gave him some medication and his body didn't react with it right, and he died.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it was, and it was all, it's all just, and that's why I honestly, I very seldomly quit drinking, but I've only drank twice this whole quarantine, and whenever I feel myself getting sick, I always quit drinking because I feel like you never know. Just read about that guy the other day, and it was like heartbreaking. It was blood thinners. He couldn't get it out of his leg.
Yeah, he got a blood clot, but he was just, what happened was they moved to LA and they have a 10-month-old baby, which, believe it or not, I have 10-month-old twins, girls, and she gave birth the same day. So it was like, not as me, as my wife. Obviously, I didn't carry the children, but I mean, I look like I'm carrying twins, but I did not. They came out of her. It looks like they went into me. But anyway, so, and then they went to New York to get their stuff, and he got it in New York, I think. And she didn't get it. Thank God. The baby didn't get it, but he was exhausted. That's the only sign. How crazy is that? He was just exhausted. He couldn't keep his head up. He was like falling asleep all the time. And so they went to the emergency room because he knew something was wrong. Yeah. And then it started. Like, they put him on all these machines, and he's been in a coma. He has not woken up in like a month. It's just
crazy. Is heartbreaking. 41 years old
with a baby. Yeah.
God. And then your other friend lives in New York?
My other friend is in Jersey. So this is my best friend's that I grew up with, her ex-husband, who's the father of her 2 children. And he has asthma, but he's 52, I don't know, 51, 52. And he just got it. And he was one of the first people in Jersey to go to the hospital. And he's been they induced him into a coma. This is so depressing. But they put him on
No. People should hear this because you know what's going on in LA is everyone's like, enough, man. Let's get outside already. And it's
not in New York. No one's
in LA. celebrities. I saw celebrities last night posting pictures of road trips, of like going out and hanging out with friends, and like, you know what? As long as you're set, and I'm like, I feel like going. It's not. Here's what I had to explain this to my daughters. My daughters were like, "Let's go on a drive and let's go drive to Malibu." And I said, "No, I understand that you feel like we're not getting out of the car, we're being safe. What if something happens to us? Like, let's just hypothetically say we get into a little fender bender. Then you're taking two people that work for the city that are in need of helping people in the middle of this pandemic. You're taking them off the clock. You're bringing them to go help us, and now they can help someone that really might be in need. That's why we stay at home, girls." And they were like, "Oh, I didn't understand that." And I was like, "There's you and a lot." I'm telling you, I'm fucking done with celebrities that say one thing, do the other thing. Tell me who to vote for, but yet are so selfish. They just go out and feel like the rules don't apply to them because they're young and healthy. It fucking is frustrating.
It's not okay. So yeah, my friend Michael, he has two daughters like you. One's 19, one's 22. And he just didn't feel well. He was one of the first people in Jersey to go to the emergency room. He got put on a ventilator. He's been on it for, 5 weeks. And he started coming out of like this coma and he started getting a little better. And this is so horrible, but they didn't tie his hands down and he ripped the tubes out. So he had no oxygen to his brain for a while. And now he's in another coma. It's such a mess. And these are people who just literally we're not around like tons of people. They just got it like from, being out in public. It's the craziest thing. It's like I drive through New York City and I see a ton of people with masks and gloves. And then there's a lot of people who are just being defiant.
There are a lot of people that are like, "Hey man, it's the cold.
It's the cold.
You're going to get the flu."
Cold like this. There's no cold. First of all, with the cold, you know what to do. You know to take certain things. When you have a flu, you can go, whatever it is. If you're sick, they have no idea what's going on and they really don't know how to treat it. So anything can happen.
I think, it's so funny. I was being shitty. I'm sure, I don't know where I was doing this. I've been talking so much lately that I don't know where I've said certain things.
Yeah.
And I'm sometimes it's stuff I've said in private that I then share on a podcast. But I was kind of making fun of Andrew Cuomo because he's so melodramatic. He's so like, the beast shows up at night. It rears its head. And you're like, "Hey, buddy." Then part of me was like, I bet it's his civic duty to say it was as bad, to say it was worse than it was, even if it wasn't, because there will be people who, if he came out and he was like, "It's actually not that bad, guys. I'm actually doing pretty good. I don't have it that bad." Then everyone would be like, "It's not that bad." And they just go out and do stuff. And so I felt bad that I was kind of mocking him because you see the video of him coming out of his basement.
Oh, you mean Chris Cuomo?
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. That's why I don't talk publicly about anything. I'm a fucking jackass.
You're like Mario Cuomo came from the dead. And
Cuomo. Wait, wasn't Mario Cuomo gay?
Was he?
That's what I always thought, but I grew up in Florida, so I don't even, the only things
in Florida, everyone's gay. Yeah, he may have been gay. I don't know.
The only things I knew about New York when I was a kid growing up was that Jesse Jackson called it Hymietown.
I love when people call Florida God's waiting room. That's my favorite.
Florida was such a weird fucking place to grow up. Did you grow up in Jersey?
I did, but Florida is weird. I grew up in Florida too because I'm Jewish, and so both grandmothers went to Florida in the winter. They had a place in Florida, so I was always there. So
you tell me, like, it's the funny thing about comics is that we all kind of know each other, but we don't know anything about our lives.
Yeah.
You grew up in Jersey, born and raised in Jersey?
Yeah, I grew up in South Orange, New Jersey.
Only child?
No, I have an older sister who's still there. Then my parents got divorced. My mom married a guy who had 4 kids. That's Zach Braff's father.
So he had 4 kids. So you have 6 total in your family.
Then my dad got remarried and they physically had 2 kids because she was like 11.
So what's that like? What's that like going from big team? Like me and my sisters are big team. We always call ourselves big team. and it's me, my two sisters, and we are a unit.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to go from you and your sister to now all of a sudden 4 more kids are in the family, 2 more kids are in the family? Do you have a closer connection with your older sister in that, or is it one of those things that someone who isn't in that world wouldn't know what it's like to just, it's family, it turns into family type thing?
Well, definitely turned into family, and we all get along so well. Seriously, I'm very fortunate. I have 3 stepbrothers and a stepsister, and they came into my life when I think I was 15. So I've been around them for so long. But it was challenging for everyone to get to know each other and kind of make it comfortable. And then when my stepmother had 2 kids, it was also challenging because there were 2 girls, and then my dad ended up having a boy. So he was like his first boy. And it's interesting because I'm 50 and I have a 27-year-old sister and a 33-year-old brother. I think that's how old they are, 34, something like that. So it is interesting because I just grew up with one sister in the house. But
your one sister was what, 17 when everyone started remarrying?
Yeah, she was about 17, 18.
Now,
yeah.
Did she feel, because she was on her way to college, did she feel a disconnect from everyone the way you were kind of like enmeshed in it?
I'm going to lay down because I've done nothing today. And I just need to keep laying down. I can barely get out of bed. I'm being honest with you. So it's just, this is getting heavy and I need to rest my head. It was different for my sister Jennifer because I grew up in both houses. So I would go from one house to the other. I went to like my mom's for a week, and then I would go to my dad's for a week. So I was a kid living out of a bag. And I think that's why stand-up has always been comfortable for me, traveling, seriously, because I always felt misplaced. I was always like a gypsy. And so now it's so weird to be home.
Yeah.
Like just to be home 24 hours a day. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
It has been really weird, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, it's interesting. We all have the same occupation. We all have the same passions. We all have the same interests and can carry a conversation on with each other seamlessly for hours. That is the one thing we all have that is ingrained in our DNA. You can't shift that no matter what happens to us. However, we all take different paths. And some of us, whereas say an Ari Shaffir lived in LA, didn't really kind of scrape together money and kind of just worked the clubs in LA. I was someone who felt immediately like, I don't want a day job. I want to work. I want to get in on the road. I want to get on TV. I want to do, my path was very different. So I worked for Travel Channel from when I was 37, from when Georgia was born 15 years ago, I started the road every single week. Like, meaning the week she was born, I was so broke, I was on the road every single week.
Right.
I'd take like a few weeks off. Then I started Travel Channel. It was 2 weeks on, 1 week off. And on that 1 week off, I would go do stand-up. So when you say, is it weird to, you know what I did last night? I realized I have 2 suitcases that are just packed, sitting in the garage.
I know, I understand.
And I just said, why would I unpack them? I'm just going to take them on the road again.
Yeah, I get it. And also, you're putting it out there. Like, if they stay packed, maybe I'll get to.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. I've never spent this much. I watched The Hangover with the girls last night, and I was never a very big traveler. Although I worked for Travel Channel, travel wasn't like, it didn't define me. I wasn't someone that needed to be traveling. I like being home. Personally. But I was watching The Hangover 2 where they're in Thailand, and I thought, I miss traveling. Like, I'm not going to be able to go to Asia for a while. And I had an Asian tour plan, and I was like, I miss traveling.
Wow.
And then I laid in bed and I went, technically I'm not much of a traveling guy. I was like, I'm so grateful that I spent so much time away from my family, and not knowing, like, had I said, I'm going to pace myself out, the road will always be there. I'm going to pace myself out, and I would be chomping at the bit. But I can kind of look at this time home and go, that your family deserves this, and you should really not beat yourself up about not working. You're doing podcasts, you're putting out content, you're doing everything you can do. You're writing a script, you're taking meetings, you're pitching shows. Take a step, take a breath.
That's
and
good.
I your friend, and I don't know his name. I've thought about him a number of times ever since I read that article that he was going to lose his leg.
Yeah.
Because I thought you do get caught up in a little game of, oh, woe is me. Mm-hmm. Everyone does. Every single person does. I haven't worked in 4 weeks. I haven't brought in any money in 5 weeks. I'm losing my restaurant. This is going on. All this is going on. I've been quarantined. I want to get out of the house. I'm bored. I thought about Nick. I read that article, I think, beginning of last week or middle of last week. I've thought about him probably 10 times and thought, you know what, man? Everyone's got their cross to bear. And some people have it a lot harder than you do, Bert. Whatever the fuck's going on in your head about, oh, I didn't get to promote my special, or I'm not going to be able to do the road and finish up this tour. I want to get back on the tour. What if I don't get a tour? But all that shit means absolutely nothing when I think of Nick and his family. And I've thought about him. The fact that you know him isn't
that weird?
Serendipitous.
Yeah. I don't just know him. I mean, he's really like a member of our family. And we've been in so many family events with him. And he and Amanda would come see my shows all the time in New York. And his wife is unbelievable, Amanda Klutz. If people want to follow her on Instagram, I don't know how she's doing what she's doing. She's like an exercise instructor and dancer, and they're both Broadway stars. He was in Bullets Over Broadway. He was in Waitress, and he's been in a ton of things. But Amanda dances every day. People are dancing all over the world and sending clips. If you go on her Instagram, it is.
I got her. I just followed her.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you should send her a message because she would really appreciate that. And she goes to the hospital every single day and sings and plays music outside of the building.
God,
and she has this baby. Like, it's so. If I don't stay grateful, I'm in big trouble. Like I keep going, I'm so tired. I'm so bored. I'm so sick of being home. And then I see these people who don't have their health, and nothing matters. Nothing matters.
And it's so funny. It's so easy to, and by the way, I do understand that there's parts of this country that it's not as bad. And so what we're saying is we're living in two of the more of the hot spots. You're living in the hot spot, second to Singapore in the world, I think. And so it's very different. And I think the way New York lives is not conducive to a virus. I mean, is not conducive to staying healthy during a pandemic.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going to happen because it's not so crazy all over the country. And I'm wondering if places open up and people start I can't see it not spread. I see it spreading. I don't want to be negative, but I just don't see how it cannot spread. It is so contagious. It's insane.
I've never been more careful washing my hands and whatnot in my life. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm very cognizant. What's interesting is I don't leave the house much, meaning me and Tom do Two Bears, One Cave in person. It's the only really he's the only person I interact with at all.
I love him so much.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's so yeah, I'm sure he's a dick, but I only know him like on the surface.
He's great. He really is great. I love him, but he's the only person I interact with. I interact with him once a week, and for the most part, this sounds horrible, I guess. But I guess I'd be fulfilling old stereotypes, but I don't even go out. My wife goes to the grocery store. She's just that person.
Yeah.
That's the way her brain works. I'll do it. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I just don't do anything. So I end up touching my face a lot around my house because I'm not really interacting with shit.
Right.
What's going to happen is they're starting to open comedy clubs. They're opening.
Where?
Texas is opening, I think, next week. I think Omaha's opening. Nashville Zanies is opening in a couple weeks. And obviously it'll be local comics going up, but I think that'll be
local comics. I feel like people are going to die to go there. I mean, I'm not.
I think first few weeks it'll be local comics. They'll open it up, and like Nate Bargatze will probably do whatchamacallit, and then whatever big comic lives in Dallas, like Steve Trevino will do Dallas if they open up. Bigger names that are local guys will come in and do those cities. Larry the Cable Guy will open up Omaha, I'm sure. But I think if this curve flattens down and it seems like it's where it is right now, I think people will be getting out and traveling, and I think it'll be big name comics fighting for. I've predicted this, and I could have predicted this wrong, but I think it's going to really fuck up the comic that was just on the come up. Like I keep using.
I agree.
Chris Porter as an example is Chris
Mhm.
Porter is one of the best comics working, in my opinion. He's just so talented, so funny, so quick, writes so prolific. Like he's so good and he deserves that next step.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what Chris is making. I can speculate. I can just speculate based on what I'd assume numbers to be. But what'll happen is guys like him, where they should be making the bump to the next step of money if things hadn't happened, they'll either remain here or maybe have to take a step back because bigger names will come in and start taking those spots. And that's what's fucking kind of sucking about this, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought about that. I thought the people that are like 10 years in, it's going to be a little harder for people who don't have a following or a ton of credits because
it's going to subtract all the people that have been doing it 8 years.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just going to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is going to be tough. I mean, but then again, I don't know what I can say this. I don't know. I can't say anything. I can't say, just put yourself in someone else's shoes is so hypocritical these days because people are wearing so many different pairs of shoes.
I know.
You go, if I was a young comic, I would have just gotten a day job. And then you're like, well, maybe I would have said that then, but where's anyone getting a day job? Like,
where is anyone getting a job now unless you're going to like deliver for Amazon? I mean, I have no idea.
Man, get your downsize and you get a van. I don't know.
Yeah, you went from like you're going to go from a tour bus to like I don't know, a big wheel.
By the way, I've already speculated, Jessica. I've already said to myself, hey, if they open the floodgates and they go, hey, we're back on the road. Everyone's back on the road. I was like, I don't need a tour. I could if they were like, I can go without a tour bus. Tour bus. By the way, I mean, I'll be very candid. And this is why I speculate about comedy clubs. Tour buses will be impossible to find once they open the floodgates because look, Vince Neil has a mortgage. Motley Crue has a tour plan. Like every Rage Against the Machine, everyone's tours are crammed into 2 months. Yeah, and so it's gonna be a free for all with artists. I was talking to an artist that I'll take his name out because I know he wouldn't want to say this. I know he wouldn't want to share this, but I'll tell you his name. Halston, take this out. I was talking.
Yeah.
What's the move? Do you go back and try to scramble for money when everyone's scrambling money? Do you just play the slow game and hang out, wait a year, do some television, create something? And
I mean, yeah, I think it's if you're going to take the time off, you really have to focus on creating stuff online and building up no matter how big you are, you have to keep building. Like for him, for anyone, you have to keep building and building and building because as quick as it comes, as is as quick as it goes away.
Ain't that the truth?
And you're huge right now.
I'm about 250 I'm about weighing. No, I'm kidding.
I'm like, that's small.
No, by the way, I was afraid to weigh myself today.
I think you look great. I'm actually shocked because
the last time you saw me, I was a fucking mess. I was a mess. I've been on tour in Europe.
What's going on? You were probably partying a lot. You look very healthy right now.
I was touring. I did a tour in Europe with Mark Norman, and I was drinking every single day. Right. And then I flew into New York to like hang out, but I was cooking 3 meals a day before dinner and eating all of them, and then drinking starting at 8 a.m. I was.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we all know how ExpressVPN protects our privacy and security online, right? But here's something you might not know. You can also use ExpressVPN to unlock movies and shows that are only available in other countries. Now that all of us are stuck at home for so long, it's only a matter of time that you run out of stuff to watch on Netflix. This whole week, we've been using ExpressVPN to binge watch Doctor Who on Netflix UK because I am obsessed with time travel. Obsessed. It's so simple. All I do is fire up the ExpressVPN app, change my location to the UK, refresh Netflix, and boom, that's it. See, ExpressVPN hides your IP address and lets you control where you want sites to think you're located. So you can choose from almost 100 different countries So just think about all the Netflix libraries you want. If your little girl, like my little girl, loves anime, bam, you are spirited away to Japanese Netflix. And it's not just Netflix. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service. Hulu, BBC, iPlayer, YouTube, you name it. There are hundreds of VPNs out there, but the reason I use ExpressVPN to watch shows is it is ridiculously fast. There's never any buffering or lag. You can stream HD, no problem. ExpressVPN is also compatible with all your devices, phones, media consoles, smart TVs, and more, so you can watch what you want on a personal device or on the big screen wherever you are. If you visit this link right here, expressvpn.com/Bert, you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Support the show and watch what you want to watch. Protect yourself with ExpressVPN. That's expressvpn.com/Bert. This podcast is also brought to you by Tushy. Everywhere is running out of toilet paper. You know who doesn't need toilet paper? People with Tushy. With Tushy, you use 80% less toilet paper. Break up your toilet paper. Treat your butt right with Tushy. Wiping your butt with dry toilet paper does not remove all the shit. If you got poop on any other part of your body, would you just wipe it with a towel? No, you would wash your freaking hands. You're not an animal. Water cleans better than paper. Everyone knows that. Thankfully, now there's a sleek bidet attachment that clips onto your existing toilet and sprays your butt completely clean with fresh water. It is called Tushy, and it's the best thing you can do for your butt. I have been using these for so long that I'm telling you there is no better way to clean your butt. I have a friend, let's call him Halston, who just got one of these, and he was overwhelmed by the experience. Tushy sprays directly to your ass and removes poop completely. So you aren't sitting on bacteria that leads to nasty things like hemorrhoids, yeast infections, UTIs, itchy assholes, and skid marks. Bidets are common everywhere else in the world. A bidet saves you money on toilet paper. Also, you're going to use a little toilet paper just to pat dry, but the amount is negligible. Don't clog your toilets. You won't clog your toilets. Tushy sprays your ass with fresh water. It's not toilet water. It connects to your water supplies behind your toilet and sprays your dirty parts with fresh, clean water, the same water you brush your teeth with. Wet wipes are worse than toilet paper, and they're terrible for the environment. They cause anal fissures. You do not want anal fissures. Here's the zinger, guys. It is only $79. Go to hellotushy.com/Bertcast to get 10% off your order. hellotushy.com/Bertcast to get 10% off your order. Trust me when I say this. It is a game changer. Did you ever party?
Yes, I'm a complete drug addict and alcoholic. I'm like, I've gone.
No.
I know people are like, yeah, right. Okay. Let me give you an example. I used to sell pot for years. I sold pot. I moved to Massachusetts and was like, fuck it. I like getting high. I'm going to sell it. So I had it sent to me from California. This was like 25 years ago. I would take it out and weigh it and sell it to dealers. Like I was like a real pot dealer. And then I started doing cocaine. So I'm selling pot while I'm on cocaine. And can you imagine how paranoid I was? I would look out of a peephole for 6 hours at a time on my tippy toes. It's the only time my shins ever hurt me in my life. Like never from exercise. It was from paranoia. And then I'd freak out. I was a paranoid cocaine user. So I would flush it down the toilet. Then I'd go get more. I mean, I was out of my mind.
Really?
So when I was 24, I sent myself to rehab in Minnesota. I literally called and was like, I need to go away. And since then have relapsed a bunch of times.
For real?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this.
Oh, yeah, I'm very honest about it because it helps.
Wait. Then start it over and take it slow. So wait, you sent yourself to rehab?
Well, I started smoking pot and drinking at 13. And I was like, this is the best fucking thing I've ever done. I mean, I had no feelings. I was miserable. So I loved it. And then I was even funnier. It was amazing. And I enjoyed it for years. And then in college, I went to Maryland and I was in a sorority. I drank kegs. I mean, pitchers of beer every night and got high. And then I graduated college and was like, it really using a lot. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to move to Massachusetts and decided to move there. And I just decided to sell pot. And I was like, I don't even have to work. So I could smoke pot all day for free and sent myself to rehab.
How did you get a connect in California?
Oh, it's because a friend of mine lived there and she sent me an ounce and she vacuum sealed it and put it in transmission fluid. And sent it to me. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cheap and it's incredible pot. Can I sell it? She's like, sure. So she connected me with the guy. And then I'm getting pounds of pot sent to me.
Shut up.
I swear. And I was so arrogant and disgusting that they would drop it off. I'd sign for it. I mean, I would have gone to jail the rest of my, if I got caught.
Oh, especially back then.
And then I would break it out the second it came. Like, what if they set me up and came right back? I would get.
You didn't like set it on a thing.
There wasn't,
I didn't even know.
5 minutes. No, there wasn't even 5 minutes in between. And I would sell to the dealers, and I made, of course, a ton of money. And then I just started getting into other things like pills and coke and all kinds of shit. And I think I got myself to a really bad point so that I could go get help. Like, I'm very like that. I pushed myself. Like, I didn't even love cocaine, but I just kept doing it and then couldn't stop. And then I went away in Minnesota and I was doing really well. This is a great story. And a woman came in who was hot, like drop dead gorgeous. And I was like, here we go. Because I wasn't drinking or getting high or doing anything else. So I was like, now I'm going to I'm going to have an affair in rehab.
Wait, were you already hooking up with chicks?
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you start hooking up with chicks?
I was with I used to like fool around with all my friends growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would like touch.
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah. You're like, tell this story. It's amazing.
No, I don't pretend I don't know anything.
I wasn't gay. I mean, I don't know what I was, but I would like, we'd all play. Like, we'd play like games where we were a couple and then we'd kiss and then we'd like touch each other's boobs and do all like nothing too, like we didn't like scissor, but we would like, feel each other up. And then I just still didn't know I was gay. And then I was in college and I was in a sorority. This is a great thing. And then the freshmen were pledging and this gorgeous Jewish girl walks in and I was like, she's beautiful. I didn't know what, I just liked her. And we started spending every second together and we would sit in the car and just stare at each other. And I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I didn't even know I was attracted. I guess I fell in love with her. But there was nothing sexual. And then we went home for Christmas break and she came to my house and we drank wine and smoked pot and we started wrestling and we made out. It was really hot. She was hot.
One of my first jokes was I lived with two lesbians in New York when I lived in New York. And I forget exactly how the joke went, but I said something to the effect of, I thought it was going to be, you walk in and they're wrestling in sports bras. Like, I got you. No, I got you, little bitch. Yeah. So, and that's what I always envisioned. You never hear that until you're like, and then we're wrestling. And now you're like, and now I'm like, oh my God.
And they were like crying and like, knitting.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They just used to do coke and get in fist fights.
Oh, you told me that. I love that so much. I remember you telling me. So we were wrestling and then I don't know what happened, but we started making out and then I freaked out and so did she. We both freaked out. Because I was like, I am not gay. This is just a freak thing. We were fucked up. And then I still wanted to be around her and talk to her. And then we just started fooling around. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I still didn't say I was a lesbian for many years. I still have issues with it. And I'm married with children. I mean, I've had more issues with it than anyone else. And people appreciate when I talk about it because none of my family and friends gave a shit. And when I told them, they all thought I was dying. I was like hysterically crying, you're never going to forgive me. Like, it was so crazy and they didn't care. They really didn't care.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't care. So funny. I especially now having two daughters, maybe having daughters is different than having a boy. I don't know, but like
it is.
I would assume it might be.
Yeah.
My only hope was that my daughters would be as happy in anything they chose to do or live their life in as I've been as happy. I want them just to be happy. So like if they decided that they were gay, I don't see that. I personally don't see that as anything really.
Yeah, my parents didn't care. They both did cry because they felt bad for me because this was 25 years ago. So they were like, we don't want you to get, made fun of. We don't want you to get bullied. We want you to be able to walk down the street holding hands with the person you love. Like I get that now as a parent. It's you would hate if one of my daughters went through that, it would be horrific.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my daughters to have to experience anything like being bullied or like that. That would be horrible. And that's why I think it's cool. I know this is anti-brand. I know that people think that this is not who I am, but like I'm very pro anything that makes someone feel like 100%. Like if even including like using the word midget, if that's gonna fuck up someone's day, I can very easily not say it. Like I mean,
I see you like that. You don't think people see you? I
think people see me as a fucking meat.
No, I mean, not if people get to know you.
I agree. If you get to know me, I think you'll know I really care about people.
You do.
But I care about people having I'm super simple. I care about people having a good time and laughing and enjoying life. I just want people to have a good time in life. That's it. I don't care. I don't want anyone to be bullied. I don't want anyone to be harassed. I don't want anyone to feel less than. And I think it took me a while to understand that in comedy that I had some jokes that were allowing people to feel less than, or maybe like piling a group of people together and making people feel like on the outside. It was one chick in DC that kind of changed the way I saw that. She said something and she said, just so you know, when you tell that joke, I don't feel 100% great. And I went, what do you mean?
Things happen to me.
Yeah.
Exact same thing. There were 2 jokes I've done where people have said that was very upsetting to me. One of them was about a handicapped person. It was putting it on myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I used to say this joke, like asking me for leftovers is like asking a person in a wheelchair for a piggyback ride or something like that. A handicapped person for whatever. It doesn't matter. They come up to me, the woman's in a wheelchair. I'm like, I am never saying that again. I don't need to. And then I pushed her into the wall. No, I'm joking. So that was horrible.
By the way, what's even funnier sometimes is like when we get approached for things that we've done wrong, what's even funnier is the thing we would have liked to have said or done. And then I pushed her into a wall.
Oh yeah. I would have been like, shut the fuck up.
In your head when you tell the story to your friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. That's exactly right. And then there was another joke I said about some like being mentally challenged. And this woman said, my son is, I don't know. It just made me feel, if it makes me feel bad and I don't need to say it, I take it out.
Yeah. It's the same thing. I look at jokes like that. Like I had a really, 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 really great joke that I loved. And then someone I didn't respect as a comic said to me, that's my favorite joke you tell. And I didn't respect the person. I was like, you're a really bad comic. And I don't even know if you should be a comic. And I didn't do it in my special because that person liked the joke.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I thought, you're like, this person's an asshole and not funny. So if they like it.
And I think their comedy comes from a mean place.
Right.
And I think
I don't laugh at that. I don't laugh at comics where it comes from a mean. It can be edgy. You can say stuff that's not PC. I mean, believe me, I laugh at a ton of shit. But when it comes from a real place of being mean-spirited, I don't laugh. I've never laughed at that.
It's the same thing. I'm gonna use a name because it'll make you laugh. But Halston, will you edit this name out of this part, please? It's the same thing when you do a joke. You're like, oh, that's a good joke, and you get off on stage, and someone's like, oh, has that same joke. You're like, I'm definitely losing it from my.
Love that certain people have the same reputation with every single
comic. There's certain names
that's going away.
That just, it's like, it's so fucking bizarre, this business, because there's certain people that I really enjoy that. Like watching The Hangover with my daughters, Brody was in it. Brody Stevens is in it. And I said, hey girls, do you know that guy? And because my daughters knew Brody, and they're like, no. And I go, take a second, listen to him talk. And he goes, these guys are in Loserville. And George goes, is that Brody Stevens?
Wow.
And I went, yeah. And they're like, oh my God, Isla, we know that guy. And then I felt like going, oh, I know a lot of these. I know Ed Helms started the Boston Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Zach Galifianakis, I know very well. Like I know
all the people that I mean, I used to perform with them constantly in New York. Yeah.
Where did you start? When did you start in stand-up in New York? Because I feel like I had already moved to LA.
I started in 99 and I've done it in New York the whole time. I never.
What clubs did you start at?
What?
What club did you start at?
I started at Gotham because I did a bringer show there and I became friendly with Chris, who owns it. And so and then I produced new talent shows where, there would be like no crowd, but they were good to do on the weekends. And I hosted them a lot. And I feel like that really helped me. And then I did like a lot of the clubs that Stand Up New York and New York Comedy Club and Boston Comedy Club. And Boston was great. What a great club. That was a great club. And then I started working at the Cellar, and that was kind of where I
remember I've told you this before, but it's one of my favorite like perspective stories. I think a lot of people hearing this would go, a lot of people that are comedy fans don't understand how this business is sometimes. Like you'll go, I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan, not realizing Joe Rogan's had a hard time following people, like not his whole life, but following Brewer, everyone's got those stories that you may be a big fan of mine. But my favorite story ever is when we worked at that club together that Gina Savage used to book, Comics.
Yeah.
And I walked in and it was me, you, and Joe DeRosa backstage, and Joe DeRosa goes on and me and you kind of talked, and then you went on and Joe DeRosa came back and he was like, you haven't seen her perform yet, have you? Said, no. And he goes, it's going to be a long weekend. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, you might want to go stick your head out there. And I stuck my head out, and you were destroying so hard that I was in the moment pivoting, going like, what do I do? Like, how do I
remember that weekend. Isn't that weird?
I remember that weekend very well. Yeah.
Thousands of shows remember that weekend. Because I thought you were amazing and it was packed. I was like, wow, you drew a big crowd.
I don't remember it being packed. I want to say Patrice was alive at the time because I think he came down.
Yeah, he was definitely alive at the time.
Yeah, he came down.
Beautiful club.
Yeah. I remember Patrice came down. Patrice, there's other parts. It's so funny too, is that, and I say this because I think people listening right now are comedy fans. Like people who listen to my podcast are like legit comedy fans. They know who, when you drop a name, they go, I know that guy. Yeah. So that's why I edit some names out. But one of the things about Patrice is Patrice really was a little bit of a cunt. And so like people don't know that. Like people go, he was the greatest. He was the greatest. He was an amazing comedian.
He was scared. He scared the shit out of me.
He scared the shit out of everyone. And I remember him coming down. I think he came down like whatever, Sunday night or whatever. And I just gotten paid. And he was like, how much they give you? That's so Patrice. Not to just go, how much they give you, knowing full well he can get that information out of me. And I remember telling him how much I got paid like a fucking idiot. And he was like, oh, you don't deserve that. You really don't deserve that. I got paid $5,000 that week. I remember most I had ever made.
I remember you making that. I mean, I can't believe the things I remember, but I do remember you making a lot of money, and it was packed there. They paid a lot.
They paid
at the time. Well. That was like, that's like 10,000 now or whatever.
Oh yeah. And they put you up at that really nice hotel. It was right across the street in Soho.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fucking really fun weekend. But it was one of those ones where I always say this, the two people I've worked with that I had to reassess what I'm doing on stage in the moment, like right before I go on stage, was you and Tommy Johnigan. You and Tommy Johnigan was like someone, you ever met Tommy Johnigan?
I know him, but I've never met him. Yeah. He was
so young, so smart, and so funny. And I was like, oh fuck. I felt like going, oh, people are gonna really quick realize, oh, this guy doesn't write jokes. That guy before me wrote jokes. This guy doesn't write jokes. And then with you, I was like, they're gonna go, oh, this guy doesn't have an act. She has an act. This guy is just a fucking drunk taking his shirt off.
No, I mean, I would have a hard time following you. I've had a hard time following, of course, Brewer.
Oh my God.
There's certain people. Brewer is so fucking hysterical to me.
Oh my God.
Bert, okay, so this is depressing, but it is what it is. And this will also help people that are listening to this because they're going through a lot of shit. But my father passed away a week ago today.
Oh my God.
Yes, he did. He had pancreatic cancer. And it was
that's
horrible.
No one likes.
We had only like 7 of us go to the cemetery and wear masks. I mean, it was insane. Like, I'm Jewish, no Shiva, no nothing. But Brewer found out and called me, and I think I was with my family, but he sent me all, because I have done so many shows with him, and I love when he does those fingers. He does this thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it. With his fingers. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, he can talk so fast and do kicks and all kinds of things with his fingers. And so he sent me all of these videos with his fingers to make me laugh. Like, his life sucks. It really fucking sucks. And like the fingers keep kicking, and then they were throwing stuff off the table. I laughed for days watching videos. That's what I miss, is being around comics. I miss being at clubs, hanging out. I miss that more than performing. I don't know about you, but I do. Do you feel like that too?
Yeah, I feel like, what I miss is I miss walking backstage at the store and just hugging everyone and seeing, and like just catching up on the simplest things. Like, people don't know this, but like Chris D'Elia is one of the easiest hangs in the world. Everyone's got gives you a little spice of them. Like, Bobby Lee just starts making you giggle, and Bobby Lee, Brian Callen, they just start making you giggle immediately. The second they see you, their goal is to make you giggle, right? Mm-hmm. But then you got guys like Russell Peters or Chris D'Elia, who are just solid hangs. Like, if you see them, they connect with you, and they're like, but not in like a fucking cheesy, like, how are the kids, how are the family? Like, hey man, how you doing? And I miss that a lot.
Me too. Russell's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
And those are the people wouldn't think that you go, because Russell's always on tour around the world. And I think people think one thing about D'Elia, about him being like, out of clubs or whatever. Chris D'Elia is not that guy. He is so like, the thing I can say about Chris D'Elia is he was raised so well by his two parents. His parents did a phenomenal job creating a dude where a person. Oh, now it's you.
How funny is that?
Is it the same person?
I have no idea what just happened, because it didn't even say who it was. It was just a random call. This is what's happening now.
Yeah. So I want to go back. I've always been curious about your relationship with your stepbrother, Zach, because he's someone who's just, it must have been interesting to watch. I wonder if it was, I'm assuming it was never frustrating while you were on the same path, but I wonder what that was like when Garden State and I mean, Garden State was such a big fucking deal. Like, it wasn't just like an average movie for some reason.
Mm-hmm. So, to be completely honest, when he did Garden State, I wasn't even in stand-up yet. So crazy.
Really?
I think I had just started. Yeah, it was like, because I started in 99. I mean, maybe he did it, but I was like I was very new. I don't remember. I was either just starting or I don't remember, but it was just incredible for me to be around all of these people, like go to the premiere, and I don't even know what I was just saying, because I did start, but I didn't expect to be like a star or have a movie. So it didn't affect me like that. It was so cool. You were
still cutting your teeth in stand up.
Exactly. So I went to like the premiere party, and Reese Witherspoon was there, and Danny DeVito. I mean, I was freaking out. I was like, I can't even believe I'm around these people right now.
What do you like around celebrities?
I'm really cool around celebrities.
I'm horrible. I am really, so bad.
I don't know why. I just, I worked with De Niro for months. I don't know why it doesn't faze me. It's so weird. I don't get it. You get uncomfortable?
I do two things. Number one, I don't know a lot of celebrities. Like, a lot of people don't follow my radar. So,
Me too.
so like I would, and don't recognize people. So like, for instance, I would probably meet your brother and not know I was talking to him for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And be so obsessed with selling myself because that's who I am as a natural person. My wife would say that I am so bad with people's names that as people are introducing people, I hear the starting music for the Chicago Bulls. Ladies and gentlemen, just waiting for me to go, Bert Kreischer. So so what happens with me is by the way, and this is going to sound like whatever it sounds like. I know you're not allowed to talk like this anymore, but like, I am impressed by celebrity. I very much am impressed by celebrity.
However you want. I mean, that's how a lot of people feel.
Yeah. Like if I meet a professional football player, I'm like kind of blown away. Like I'm always like, oh, shut up, man. How did you like? I'm that means something to me. Or like if I meet like a famous actor, like there was a girl. I wish I knew her name, but like she came up to me and she's like, "You're fucking hilarious," and I was like, "Oh, great." I'll tell you one of the girls. What's the girl that was in? She's like a little girl actor, and she's been in everything. And she was like, she's like a little girl actor. Her and her sister.
She's a little girl.
No. Now she's getting older, but like she was a little girl actor. She was in Man on Fire. Like the Dakota something.
Oh yeah, Dakota, whatever. I know who you're talking about.
So Dakota Fanning.
I just made that up.
Dakota Fanning, I think's her name.
Oh, okay.
So she came up.
Johnson, that was way off.
Dakota Johnson. Dakota Fanning came up to me after one of my shows and was like, "Oh my God, you're fucking amazing." And I was like, "Oh, thanks."
That means a lot to me when a star comes up to me and says, "You were really funny." That's different. Yeah.
I don't know why it does to me, but so like I go, "Oh, thanks." By the way, I'm not like to be crass, I'm not a pussy guy. So like I've never been attractive girl means just as much to me as like a dude with his shirt off saying that. So it registers the same. So I'm like, "Oh, thank you." She was like, "No, you're really amazing." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." She was like, "You're like a storyteller or whatever." And I was like, "Cool." And then I was like, "It was very nice meeting you." And so I go on to do my thing. And then someone's like, "Man, Dakota Fanning thinks you're funny." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "That's Dakota Fanning, man. Like that's her and her brother. Maybe it was her brother, I think." And I was like, "Hold on, who's Dakota Fanning?" But I know the name. We're like, "Dude, she."
I wouldn't know either. I'm very bad with it. I know who Madonna is. Like I don't know the younger. I seriously don't.
But now I'm. By the way, now I'm like Googling Dakota Fanning, going, "Oh, I know that movie. She was in that." Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I know that. Oh, she was in like War of the Worlds or some whatever, like some thing that I saw, but not a fan of hers. Like I don't follow her work. I don't follow her on it, and I'm not even a fan. But now I have shifted so much to focusing in on Dakota Fanning and talking to her that I'm not lying, and I wish I wasn't saying this, that I arranged a private room for her and her friends and myself to hang out and go have a drink. And by the time I got everything organized, she was gone. And I was like,
horrible.
And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like Leighton Meister is a person. I have no fucking idea. I couldn't tell you one thing she's ever been in. I couldn't even tell you.
I thought it was a guy.
No, it's a girl. She's beautiful. She's she's like a big young person actor.
Yeah, I don't know any. Yeah.
She came up to me after a show in Naples or in Fort Myers at Captain Brian's. And was like, "You're fucking hilarious." And I was like, obviously she is. The one thing I will say about people like her and Reese Witherspoon, who I met Reese Witherspoon. I have a good story about this, but they are noticeably attractive. Like
she's stunning. The same thing has happened to me. I know.
They are. By the way, they're famous, but they're also like that attractive. Like a double.
That's how Natalie Portman is. She's breathtaking. Like you can't.
Breathtaking.
I looked at her and I was like, "Is that real? Is she a real person?" Because she's perfect looking.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, the funniest thing happened at Zach's once. I used to stay in his guest house a lot, and one time Kate Hudson came over. Now I had performed at the Improv Comedy Store. I was so tired. I was so high the night before.
She's in LA.
I had like a bun on the side of my head, one earring in. Like I had I was so much heavier. I had a huge shirt on, like a gown. I looked no bra. I looked like I had been mugged and run over. Like it was really bad. and I hear people in the other room. So I walk out of my room and I'm like, hi, who's here? And Zach is like, oh, my friend is here. And I walk in and it's Kate Hudson, who is stunning. Like, you don't realize how pretty she is. She's in like a summer dress with perky boobs. Like, she looks perfect, no makeup.
Yeah.
And she's like, hi, I'm Kate. And I'm like, hi, I'm mortified. That's what I said to her when I showed. So embarrassed. She's like, I heard you're really funny. I'm like, yeah, but they're so perfect looking, some of them.
Yes.
It's really, it's weird.
What happens with us, like what happens with me is people meet me in real life and they go, wow, you're a lot bigger than I thought you'd be.
That's hilarious.
And then I'm always like, thank you very much. But what happens with them is like, I'll be fair. I'm mean this as a compliment, but like Reese Witherspoon is attractive on film. She's a good looking person.
Yeah.
But in person,
I know.
is double take attract. Like she is so hot that you go, who the fuck? And so we were at Jones on Third back when it was on Third. Now it's over in the Valley, but they had one on Third back then. I was with my buddy Croy, my buddy Cy, and I'm sitting having lunch, and I'm walking back, and I am simply staring at Reese Witherspoon because she is so attractive. I mean,
staring.
So I can't even to the average person listening, to just someone listening, I can't. One of the most attractive people I've ever seen in my life. Just physically, whatever God gave her, your body as an animal spins your body, and you can't stop staring at her.
I know. I had that with her, Natalie Portman. Oh my God, Zach used to date Mandy Moore. She is drop dead gorgeous.
Oh my God.
Like, she came to my house for Passover. I was like, Mandy, can you pass the matzah and your vagina? Like, I was so
Wait, tell me more about Mandy Moore. I had a crush on Mandy Moore. Like in a crush, she's so much younger than me, but like a crush, like I enjoyed her as a person. Isn't that crazy?
Right. She's
like I liked her as a person.
So cute. You're such a good guy. I was at his house and she came I was in his office and she came from the downstairs and she's like, hi, I'm Mandy. And I knew he was dating her for a while. And I was like, holy shit, she is stunning. Like same thing. You take a double take. You're like, is that a real person? Or is that like a Barbie? Like, what is going on? How does someone look that beautiful? And then she became like a part of the family for a couple of years. He was with her for a while.
Oh my God. Yeah, Mandy Moore was like someone I just got a kick out of. And I think she was around during like I want to say like the TRL.
Yeah.
Like that when I was watching TV and like kind of curious of that. I know more about the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and 98 Degrees than I care to share. But like but it's interesting is that you see those certain people and they just, for whatever reason, you just end up staring at them going like, who the fuck is that?
And then you look weird when you're staring, but it's not even like I want them. They're just so beautiful. It's like looking at a piece of art.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
I ran into Tom Cruise once and I bumped into him. So like we were at a premiere for the movie Magnolia. Remember Magnolia?
Yeah, it was a great movie.
And he had the long straight hair and he's like, tame the pussy.
Yeah, I used to think he was gorgeous.
I to this day, my daughters will say I have a man crush on him because every time he's on screen, I go, him and Brad Pitt are worth every cent you pay them.
Brad Pitt is stunning.
Brad Pitt is
beyond stunning.
I might try to kiss him if I saw, like, just to say I had the story. Like, do you hear about the time Bert met? Like, because I met Adam Sandler and I fucked it up so bad, and that's all anyone talks about is how uncomfortable that was. I might just lean in and try to kiss him and see what he does. You know, he wouldn't push me away. He'd be like, I'm an open-minded guy. Let's see how it goes. But he'd look at me and go, I bet it's going to taste good like ice cream. So, but I bumped into Tom Cruise. Is at the premiere for Magnolia, and he still had his hair like that.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I was telling a story to a bunch of assistants, and as I moved back, I hit him, and I turned around, and I just was face to face with him. And I got I got caught off guard so badly that all I said to him was, "You have beautiful hair."
My God.
And he just was like, "Okay," and just walked away.
You said you have beautiful hair?
That's all I said is, "You have beautiful hair," and he just was like, "Okay."
Do you think he's gay? I mean, how would we know? But that's always been the rumor.
I don't. I got to be honest with you. When I was in college, I'm a pretty big meathead. When I was in college, we had a teacher who, it was an English teacher, and we were reading some book, and she said, everyone's gay. And I went, easy, woman. She was like, I mean, there's a spectrum. By the way, this is 1995.
But this is what my mother, who's a therapist, has always said, and what most therapists say. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, there's a spectrum. And so you are a little gay. And I was like, I was so shut off to the idea that I was gay that I was like, you know what? You can't say that. And she was like, I can definitely say that. It's proven. And I go, it's not proven. You're telling me I'm gay. I'm not gay. And she's like, the fact that you're arguing it means you're a little gay. And I went, and everyone was laughing. And I was just getting upset because I was like, you're saying that I'm gay. Like, she didn't understand the currency that had around my friends. If it was proven that I was a little gay, it was going to make everything tough. I couldn't wear any shirt other than navy blue for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so I used to really fight against that. I even had a joke, I would say as recently as like 5 years ago when people started saying there's a spectrum, where I was like, when I was a kid, if you put 10% of a dick in your ass, that meant you were 100% gay. And I mean, I literally believe there's certain things that I just believed. I didn't believe in bisexuality. I was like, just say you're gay. Like, I'm cool with that. Just say you're gay. Now I'm starting to feel like, oh, there's a fucking spectrum. Like, there's got to be a spectrum. It's so asinine to say that. I really do think I don't register on that spectrum, but I don't think that is based.
Not.
No, but I don't think that's based on free will. I think that's based on conditioning.
Yes.
Being a boy growing up in Florida from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yes.
That was not. It's the same way I cannot be a vegetarian. Like, there's something about me that goes, I will eat bacon if it's out there. I'm never going to say no to bacon. You can tell me all the health benefits, all the reasons for the environment. I'm always going to lean towards steak and bacon. I can't help it. It's conditioning.
I get what you're saying. I really I agree with you completely. And there are some people who've never thought of being with someone from the same sex. And there's some people, like I have some friends who've never, ever thought of being with someone from the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, never kissed. I have some gay guy friends who've never kissed a girl, never thought of it. It makes them want to vomit. Now it's so different. But when we were growing up, it was not okay. No one said I'm gay. You were feminine.
It was not. That's crazy that it was not okay.
No, it was not okay.
And to share that with my daughters, the idea that there was a time when it was not okay. Like, and especially when AIDS showed up, it was like,
yeah, it
was like, yo, you don't want, are you poisonous? Is the way it was like almost, it was framed for us. Is that I remember finding out there was a guy that cut hair that was gay. And I'm not even joking. In college, my friends were like, yo, you're going to let a gay guy have scissors around your head and his fingers. Like, he cuts his fingers. You get AIDS immediately. And you're like, man, I got to rethink this. But
I remember that. I do. I felt this. I mean, everyone felt like that at that time.
It's a weird time. It's a weird, we experienced a weird world in that we saw this like real ignorance. And then we also saw like an awakening, but almost sometimes to acknowledge that you were alive during the ignorance sounds hateful. Like, you're going, well, no, this was real. This was totally real. Like, I wasn't there. And by the way, I was probably complicit. I remember one of my buddies, I won't say anyone's name because I know these are all horrible things to mention now. I had a AIDS ribbon on my jacket. This, once again, people aren't going to believe this, but I was fairly progressive in college. I was around a lot of morons. And so not all of them, but like enough morons that like at times, whatever beliefs I had were somewhat progressive. And I had an AIDS ribbon on my jacket and my ski jacket. And when we were skiing, my buddy goes, why would you have that gay ribbon on your jacket? I go, it's not gay, it's for AIDS. And he goes, yeah. only gay guys can get it. And I go, no, that's not true.
Wow, that's very interesting to me that you had that on your jacket. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I really am. At that time, that's very. Where'd you go to college?
Sidebar. I should have opened with this. I had two uncles, uncles by marriage, die of AIDS in the 80s. So
Yeah.
I was a little more. One of my uncles lived with one of the uncles and was describing what the death of AIDS was.
It was, oh my God.
I remember just being a little more empathetic. By the way, it's the reason I always wear condoms and I only had sex with 6 women. So I was terrified of AIDS.
That's incredible. Wow.
This podcast is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Father's Day is coming up, so give Dad the gift he really wants this year. I am a dad. I know what I want. Perfectly aged, tender steaks. Omaha Steaks will deliver the world's best steaks and a huge variety of other favorites directly to your dad's door right now. Omaha Steaks is offering my listeners access to a variety of amazing packages that are perfectly to send to your dad for Father's Day. Go to omahasteaks.com, enter the code BERT into the search bar, and you're going to see all the great options available, many that include free shipping and a free 1-pound package of their perfectly cured, incredibly thick applewood smoked steak cut bacon. There are many packages available that are perfect for Dad, and they'll all be shipped directly to his door in time for Father's Day. I will tell you right now, their steaks are through the roof. I get their fillets, and I put them on the counter. This is what I do, but I wait till they're just a little bit under frozen, and then throw them on the grill. They cook perfectly. We had them this weekend. They're Franks and burgers. Their hot dogs are the best hot dogs I've ever had in my entire life. And their burgers, I throw them on the grill frozen, 5 minutes on one side, 5 minutes on the other side, and they are perfect, all perfect for grilling. Premium poultry and pork, cut by Omaha Steaks Butcher and individually sealed for freshness and flavor, tasty and easy to make sides. No work, just one-step family meals. The desserts are through the freaking roof. Right now, Father's Day packages are ready to order and ready to ship. Many include free shipping and a free pound of steak cut bacon. Omaha Steaks delivers guaranteed quality and safety with every order, so send Dad a gift of food he will love this year. Omaha Steaks is a 5th-generation family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in delivering perfectly aged, all-American, grain-finished beef that's hand-carved by master butchers in the heartland of America. Every Omaha Steaks order is flash-frozen, vacuum-sealed, and safely delivered in a cooler with dry ice. That means fresher than fresh. Make Father's Day simple this year and send Dad the gift he really wants. Perfectly aged Omaha Steaks. Get free shipping and freight and free steak cut bacon. With select packages, visit omahasteaks.com and type in Bert into the search bar for Father's Day today. Yeah.
Where did you go to college?
Florida State.
Oh, okay.
And people assume I just had sex with tons of women because I was a party guy. But like I said, I don't know, whatever drives me, I'm getting to the heart of that because I haven't drank a ton this break.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing things in myself that I do not like. And I wonder if I was drinking to get rid of that I want to fix. I really got to go back to therapy. I used to do therapy once a week and I just stopped. I think alcohol really puts out a lot of the fires that maybe you should be kind of exercising when you're in therapy.
Well, we're using the substance. It's not the it's the way that you try to get rid of what's really going on in your head.
Yeah, well, let's talk about you partying again. Let's go back to that. My bad. We'll wrap this up soon. I'll get you out of here soon.
Honestly, I would just do drugs and drink to just knock myself out and stop thinking because I have such a negative, crazy brain where I go
oh my God, my brain's so bad.
And I obsess.
Oh my God, I obsess.
I obsess. Well, that's why. So if you eat or use drugs or gamble or sleep around or shop or whatever it is, it gets rid of that shit that's going on temporarily. But the problem is that never goes away. And once I have a little bit of a drug, if I take one pain pill, I'm going to take more pain. I am. If you hand me a bottle of pain medication, I'm going to take more than I'm supposed to. I don't do that with everything, but there's certain things I can have a little bit because then I stop thinking about my problems and I'm just laying there and fucked up.
That's so funny. I'm very very methodical in like I won't allow myself certain things. Like I stay away from pain pills, but with alcohol, if you give me, like the other night I drank for the first time in a big stretch, and I had this, I was using this glass, and I had a double Tito's and soda. It was my first time drinking in like 35 days, I want to say.
Wow.
Although I had only drank once in 41 days, and it was with Rogan. I had 2 drinks, so I didn't technically count it. But I let the wheels come off. I'm not someone who likes to sip on a whiskey. Like I poured one, made a cheers, and I killed it. And it was so perfect. The flood of everything hit me. And all of a sudden my head went, oh, and I went, here we go. And I partied hard that night. I got in the pool. I was like listening to music. I opened a bottle of wine. Like, it was fucking awesome. But I'm like, I'm not here to just stain my teeth, people. I'm here to get a buzz.
Yeah. And to not think about everything.
It was so nice to tap out and listen to music and feel the music and let your heart go where the music wants to take you.
Yeah.
I got things that are going to happen in my life. I got big plans. Things are going to change. We're going to get better. I'm going to do another tour through Asia. I can't wait. I'm going to get on a boat. I'm going to wake up one morning with a cigar on a boat, and it's going to be a Chinese junk boat, and there's going to be all my friends there. My tour, and it's going to be. I love thinking like that.
So what happened? Like, what makes you not do it again right away?
Honestly, I'm not. What's that?
Did you feel like shit the next day?
No. I felt great. And I felt like drinking. Here's the crazy thing is, like, I woke up the next day and I enjoy being hungover sometimes as much as I enjoy being drunk. So
really?
Because my blood sugar is off. And so I think a little crazier, a little lighter on my feet, a little quicker. And I was telling this to Bill Byrne. I don't think it got included in our podcast, but it's really interesting, is I'm very punitive with myself. I've always been very punitive with myself. And I live inside my head. Like, I talk to myself in almost like a narrator from like Shawshank Redemption, you know? And so
I'm the exact same way. That's why I'm like, I totally get it.
I got up at like 8:00, and I'd been partying until 1. Got up at 8:00. I'm by the way, partying by myself, just drinking, and watched a documentary on Michael Hutchins from InXS, who I'm fucking obsessed with. And it was just everything you want to do when you drink by yourself. Woke up, went to take a piss, had a headache, and I said, no. You're up. Let's get a cup of coffee. Let's start this day. You want to party like that? Then you get up and you get your shit done. Let's do something nice for Leanne. She had to fucking deal with you fucking pissing and moaning about whatever fucking bullshit you wanted to talk about. Let's do something nice for Leanne. So I got over, I went out, went to the kitchen, got a cup of coffee, made her an omelet. She was like, oh, thanks, honey. I was like, of course. And then my brain goes, now let's get on the treadmill. You want to party like that? You're going to pay the piper. So let's get on the treadmill, and we're going fucking hard because you drank last night. We're going to teach you a lesson. And this is all going on in my brain. So then I ran 6 miles. I ran it real quick. I get off, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's get in the pool. This is what we're talking about. Who wants a Diet Coke on some ice? Let's get hydrated. It's this narrative in my head where it's all and I'm giggly, and I'm light, and I'm loose, and I'm laughy, and I'm like, let's get the girls out here. Girls, let's get in the pool. I put the surfboard in the pool. We're like, it's a weird, because I'm hungover, I'm just off a little bit of center, and I feel like it's almost like I'm riding a high, and then come like 4:00 at night. That's when I can hear the bell ringing, like, bring out your dead, and I'm like. And I go, I wouldn't mind a cocktail.
Yeah.
Fucking re-up this.
Start all over again.
Yeah. Start this all over again.
Yep.
I didn't because I said, come on. In my head, I was like, don't do this. Like, you're not going to do this to yourself. Let's get back on the wagon. Let's feel good again. Let's keep losing weight. Let's try to be healthy. There's a very fucking deadly virus out there. People are losing a lot. The least you can do is take care of your body, take care of your mind. And so that if something happens to you, you're okay during this. And I went, okay. And so I just kind of
That's fascinating to me that you have that positive voice, because most people don't. Like most of my friends, most comics, like you have learned that somewhere, whether it was from therapy before or it's.
I think it's from loving to party. Like I love to party, and I noticed that if you partied and you showed up the next day and everyone could tell you'd partied, then they'd acknowledge, hey man, you got a problem. And so I think I got in front of that by going, and it's a joke. I have not only have a joke about it, but I've talked about it a lot about this Mickey Mantle gene. But the truth is it's an excuse to allow yourself to keep partying, is that you don't let anyone notice you've been partying.
Oh, like, of course. Yeah.
You go, here we go. You want to do that? Let's get on the treadmill. I remember getting up one time in Singapore, and I had been drinking from 2 days before, through Hong Kong, just traveling. And I got up and I sat up in bed and I opened the windows and I was like, you're not wasting a day in Singapore. You are. And I was only there for 24 hours. I was like, you are not wasting this day, you motherfucker. Let's do this. And I went and I ran such a fast 5K, in the morning through a park, that I was like, God damn it. I wonder if I tapped into a superhuman ability of just being angry at myself.
Well, you have that motivator, which is good. I'm telling you, so many people would just drink the next night and be like, fuck it, I hate myself. You just kind of just keep badgering yourself. But you have that voice that says, no, get up, do something good, go exercise, eat well. It's good. It's very good.
I haven't been eating very well. How have you been eating during this?
I wasn't. And then I was like, oh boy, I got to get it. Cause I've learned to have that voice too, to say, don't do this. You're going to feel like shit. If you gain weight, you're going to want to die. So I stopped. I stopped eating carbs. I stopped eating shit. I'll eat brown rice or sweet potato, but I was starting to eat chips and popcorn and potato chips and all this shit. I'm like, I can't eat this stuff. I can't.
My problem is fucking granola bars.
I was eating a ton of them. A ton of that exact, what you just held up.
And
I was putting peanut butter on it, which is
I tell you what
amazing.
I did? I melted a Kit Kat on top of it. 2 miniature Kit Kats right here. Put it in the microwave. And then I started just melting. I think because I haven't been drinking, I've been having a craving for sugar.
Yeah. That's what happens. And, people say if you stop drinking, don't really worry about the sugar. It's better to eat some sugar than to.
Yeah. I don't think they've seen the way I put it back. So what's the rest of your day look like?
So I am doing a rehearsal after this because I'm doing a big event tomorrow night with some political people, on a Zoom thing, fundraiser. And I started doing, it's hilarious. I don't know if you saw this, you probably didn't, but I've been doing Zoom bombs. So crazy, as an old Jewish woman with a wig and rhinestone glasses. And I did them on Passover. So I have someone set up their family or their friends. And I come on, I wear a shimmery shirt and a wig. And I'm like, where am I? Where's my family? It's hysterical.
Wait, where do I find these?
It's on my Instagram, Jessica Kirson, or it's on Twitter, Jessica Kirson. They're all over, but people have been dying over them because it's so funny. It's I'll start saying, on Passover, I was like, where's the brisket? And, I did it on 12 families and none of them kicked me off. And they all had me do the service with them.
Oh my God, this is hilarious.
It's great.
Everyone.
Yep. That's Vivian.
A horrible night's sleep.
Listen.
I woke up and realized I had a nightmare that there was a pandemic. Everyone was wearing masks and gloves and couldn't go near each other. That would be horrible. God forbid I couldn't have sex for a day. I'm so horny. Send me a message. Slide in my DMs.
Oh, this is great. You just bomb a fucking room.
I do them. So people have been hiring me to do them on Cameo. It's hysterical. I just dress up in a whole thing, but I become my grandmother.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I do this. I did it last week. I don't know if I'll do it again this week. I don't know, but I'm going to do another one. I do a Zoom happy hour with like 500 people.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, I do it because I used to when we toured, I'd go out and party with the fans after the show.
You're incredible.
And so but you know what though? I would see that I'm only doing shit I would like as a fan.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing shit that I would enjoy. So it's super easy when you look. I just look at my business model of like, what's the shit I like, and then I just go because I'm hoping that people that like me are similar to me. So then I just do the shit I like, and so I did a happy hour for 500 people, and that would be great to be scroll through and find you on there and be like, who the fuck is this? And then
it's great. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's just surprise people because you should see people's faces when they see it. They're like, who is that? And then sometimes there's kids on like, Mommy, who's that lady with the white?
That's fucking great.
And I just look up close and I'm like, who are you people? Where's my grandson Joshua? Like I start getting very confused. And then I ask people to go to the store for me. I'm like, I need some items. I need Tux wipes and I need so I love, you know what? I'm pranking people, but she's not, people have been doing it in such disgusting ways, like on schools and different things, but she's really nice. I don't get inappropriate or.
Oh, that's great. I do. I got Zoom bombed, I guess. I was in a meeting and I forgot I think we were pitching a TV show or something. And I just put it on my Instagram, like, hey, this is how work's done. And all of a sudden, this kid just pops in. He's like, the machine. And I was like, what's? Oh, that's you.
How did he get on it?
He just saw, I put up the URL of the Zoom and he just was like, all right.
Shit. Yeah.
And then he was like, yo, what's up, Bo? And he was like, I can't believe I'm in here, man. I'm a big fan. But it was, by the way, it was the perfect Zoom bomb because I'm pitching a TV show and this kid's like, dude, I fucking love you. I love Tom. And then all of a sudden these guys are like, yeah, everyone's like, I'm going to kick him out of the room. And they kicked him out of the room. They're like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, sorry, I got pretty aggressive fans. And they're like, we can see. Anyway, we'll take the show. And I was like, awesome.
That's amazing. He's like, you should have your own TV show, man. You're a star.
It's not a bad way to pitch a show is put out your URL and just go, anyone want to Zoom bomb me? That's
a great idea. I've done now a 15th birthday party. I did a sorority get together. I've done so many different things.
That's so awesome.
And I do all kinds of characters. So I love it. It's a funny thing to prank or just for someone's birthday. Like if they're a fan of mine, their friends will organize a Zoom thing and then I'll come on and, pretend like I don't know where I am.
That's so fucking. Oh yeah, we got to do that. I'm gonna text you.
Yeah,
and see if we can set it up. I got to find out when we're gonna do it next. I don't know if we're doing one this week. So I was like, I don't want to drink every week. I kind of like going 2 weeks without booze and then partying.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to repair my liver.
Bert, you look so good. So whatever you're doing, I'm serious. You look very healthy. You do.
The last time you saw me, it was a girl who goes, you looked like a garbage fire.
Well, I did see you in the morning when you had been up for a night, but that's not why. Oh, Jesus. You know what this just said? Do you know what this said?
What?
It said, oh, and now I can't find you. How funny is this? It said Peru. That's what I'm talking about. Someone just called me from Peru.
Someone's giving out our phone numbers. Our phone numbers are getting. I've been having to deal with this.
I know. I'm so sorry. I mean, hopefully someone can edit it out.
No, I don't care. I've always liked the imperfections in a podcast.
Yeah. Well, there was some, but that was not that was from Peru. And I don't know how to take it off. I'm clueless.
It's my wife's one. They're calling like crazy.
Now I don't feel so bad.
So, this was a blast. Thank you so much, Jessica. I absolutely love you. I could talk to you forever. You're a very easy hang. You've always been, and you're so brilliantly funny. Your new special is amazing, amazing, amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bert. I love you. You have everything that a comic should have. Seriously.
Oh, well,
You're
thank you.
not only brilliant and talented, you're such a great person. You're incredible with your fans. You're a hard worker. You're such an example for all of us. And it's an honor to be, I'm serious. It's an honor to be on your podcast. And
Jess, thank you.
really, I really think you're such a great guy. And I love your friends, it's like you're friends with all the guys I love. And
I think we're lucky because the people that love you are all my friends. And so it's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Where can people find you to hire you as a character for their Zooms?
Well, I'm on I'm on Instagram. It's Jessie Kirson, Jessy Kirson. I'm on Twitter, and then I have a podcast, Relatively Sane, and I would love you to do my podcast.
I'm in 100%.
Yeah, Bill did it, and a bunch of people have been doing it. It's really great, and yeah, I mean, I'm all over online, and I do a ton of silly videos. You know that, like
yes.
People watch my dumb things where I fall in public, and I do all kinds of stupid shit. But
crack me up.
Yeah, I adore you. I can't wait till we can get together, and I just wish you all the best.
I do. I wish you the best. I wish same to your family. Have as much fun as you can staying in and being healthy. And please send my love to Nick and his wife. I just followed her on Instagram.
Yeah, send Amanda a message. She would love that.
I'll send her a message.
You have to see what people are doing all over the world. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
They're all doing dances, Wake Up Nick. It's incredible because he just will not wake up. I know it's really sad, but I want people to know this thing is real. He had no health problems, nothing. He was a healthy guy.
Fucking sucks.
I know. So really just know that you have to be careful. That's really it.
The perfect way to end this. Everyone be careful. Jess, I love you. Be safe.
Love you too, honey. Soon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for doing this.
Of course.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.